Hello, I am Munchakoopas, and this will be a low percent tutorial. I'm just going to jump right in and explain some basic things to start off. Mash start to skip the intro. But the first thing I'm going to go over is how to move. At the start of every level, jump, because jumping gets you your maximum movement speed. If you notice, if you hold walk, Shovel Knight has this little startup, but if you jump, he starts moving really quickly. As far as jumping goes, there's 3 different jump heights. There's a full jump, where if you hold the button down as long as possible, you jump really high. You can kind of just give it a little tap, and you get these short hops. Or you can medium jump to get like a jump in between those 2 heights. One of the biggest mechanics in this game is shovel canceling, or jump canceling. We call it both. But all this is you'll notice that when you swing your shovel on the ground, you stop moving for a moment. Whereas if you jump right after your attack will still come out, but you'll continue to move forward. Alternatively, if you attack in the air on the way down, you'll notice I'm still stopping. However, if you attack in the air as you're descending and then jump, you lose minimal momentum, and sometimes you don't even lose any depending on what it is you're trying to hit. Something else I'd like to go over is my button layout and why I use what I use. Really, I'm just going to go over why I use jump and attack and pause where I do. I'm used to playing on Wii U, and the Wii U has the buttons B and Y mapped to jump and attack respectively, so that's just why I use those. The reason I use triangle for both of them occasionally is because there's some spots in the game where I just find it easier personally to hit the one button to get the jump attack to come out, as opposed to you hitting both buttons at the same time. That's just a personal preference. You can use this button, like triangle, to do jump cancels, but one thing to note is that it may not look like it, but you do come out slightly higher when you use the single button. The reason I use start mapped to L1 is because there's certain situations where you have to skip text and then start moving quickly, and so what I like to do is, you'll see it later when I enter the village, I'll have to talk to a guy and then leave, so I'll hit L1 and then jump to leave as soon as possible. I guess I'll just continue on. Most of this first room is just very basic platforming, making sure you do the right thing in the right spot. You don't have to collect that money, I just like to out of habit. For these blocks, you can break them in any way you want. I like to break the top 2. You can bounce off the corner of this block, and then as soon as you land here, jump and start pogoing, and you'll break these. The better thing to do is land on here and jump early, so you pogo these blocks as far to the left of their boxes as possible, and then bounce on the beetle. For ladders, you'll notice that climbing ladders is incredibly slow, so what you want to do is jump, because as you can see this is much faster than climbing the ladder. And then as soon as you reach the top of a ladder, you'll notice that you'll get this animation, and as long as you're holding up during that animation, you can jump off the top of a ladder. Normally, if you just hold up, you do that, and then you start walking and it's really slow. Or you can cut corners, and if you're holding up in a direction, you can jump off of the ladder early. So if I hold up left as I approach the top of this ladder and jump, I get off of it early. For this room, there's 2 ways you can do this. You can either wait on the platform and jump and pogo the beetle, which is safe and very nice. Or if you want, you can save a second by jumping and landing on the platform early and attacking the beetle with your shovel. You can line this up any way you want. That's just the way I like to do it, is by getting the first 2 gems, those first 2 blue ones, and then just holding right and jumping. This room is called the Leap of Faith, and all you have to do in this room is walk off the edge, and when you reach this ledge, just jump as you approach the edge of it, and then just eyeball the next jump you have to make to get over here. It's very simple. For this dragon, pogo the tip of his nose, and that just wastes minimal time. When you get onto a ladder, you can grab ladders with up or down, but if you hit jump as you're trying to descend a ladder, you will obviously fall off of it, and it saves time over just climbing down it normally. I like to pogo this skeleton, just because pogoing everything puts me in the right place to break all these blocks correctly. You'll notice that I broke both sets at once instead of just breaking one. It's just easier for humans to do, though you can get by only breaking the ones on the right. It's just very hard to do. As soon as you get down here, hold down right, so you grab this ladder early, because you can actually just kind of cut a corner when you're grabbing them too, and as soon as you grab it, jump. Right here, this is one of the first uses of jump canceling, but as you fall and approach this breakable wall, hold down right, and I missed it, but hold down right and then jump into it, and you'll start pogoing the bottom part of the breakable wall, and you'll move to the right quicker than you would if you just waited for it. Jump to avoid climbing these ladders, and upcoming is another use of jump canceling. Jump and break the wall, and then cancel that attack as you land, and then jump over the slimes by jumping and holding down forward. Always kill this slime. Always kill the second one, because otherwise he can come down and ruin your day. For here, just walk off the ledge and pogo the beetle. I missed it because I waited. Right here, jump to this ledge. I'll reset the room, but jump to the first ledge, and then jump and pogo at least this left block, and then break this one. I like to leave this one here, because I want to bonk my head against it and break both of those blocks, well, the top blocks, at the same time. But as you saw, I broke all four at once. And the reason this works is because the airborne attack actually reaches a few pixels further than the ground attack. And that's useful both for breaking things in the environment and hitting enemies. It has a lot of hidden uses that you'll discover the more you learn about the game. Right here, this dragon will actually be right above you, if you get through the room as fast as possible. But as you're moving to the right, swing your shovel when you approach these, and then jump cancel into another attack. I have to kill this slime first, hold on. I didn't want to break that block. And then right here, you just mash jump and attack at the same time to break all these blocks, and your attack should come out. For this next room, hold down forward to bounce off the bubble, and then slime movement is random, so right there he just kind of sat in place and allowed me to get to the maximum height on this ladder. If he moves, you just have to adapt to him and then jump up as much of the ladder as possible. Jumping off of this ladder is kind of hard to do because it comes right after a screen transition, so it's just hard to judge when you're supposed to jump. If you go too early, you'll fall back down the ladder. If you go too late, you won't jump at all. It just takes practice. Pogo off of this guy. In this room, you try and jump off the ladder and jump up to that, or this ledge on the right as soon as possible. It just saves frames. Jump off this ladder to get up here, and then continue walking. In this next room, I usually only pogo the first slime unless he moves like that, but just try to get through this room without getting hit so you waste as little time as possible. Normally that second dragon isn't in that spot. Right here, it is faster to jump and hold a pogo through the screen transition just to save frames so that you block or break these blocks like as soon as possible. For this room, you can short hop when you get to the ledge, or you can do a long jump or a high jump further back. Do whatever works best for you. And then on that single block wide platform right there, try to jump as close to the right edge as possible so you reach a higher point on this ladder. For this room, we used to just pogo all the way straight down right about here. I have to reset the room, but it is faster to dig down 3 times, break some with your shovel, and then continue, like so. And doing that will bonk your head against the ceiling, and that just causes you to spend as little time in the air as possible, and you'll break the blocks sooner as well. Just hold down forward, don't get hit. Self-explanatory. We're gonna fight Black Knight now, and he's one of the first big challenges of your jump canceling ability, because what you want to do is try and jump over his first attack and get as close to him as possible without getting hit. And as you're on the way down, you want to swing your shovel, so you want it to look something like this. I'll do it over here where I have more space. And then you just hold right to continue hitting him into the corner, and you continue doing this same thing. And that should push him all the way into the corner. And once he's in the corner, then you stop holding right, and you start just tapping right at the right times to realign yourself so you keep him in the corner. Mash start to skip text. You can jump at the start of this fight to save frames. For beginners, I wouldn't recommend it. As you can see with that first one, I got really close to him. Now I'm just going to tap right every time I jump, and I kill him. If he gets out of the corner, you can pick him back up and move him to the other corner. It just takes practice. Mash start to skip these first dreams. There's 3 dreams in the game that you can't skip, and for most of these you can actually skip them. You can skip them on the frame they start, but it's hard to do because the frame that they start is somewhere in between the black screen between when the level ends and when this sequence begins. So it's just kind of random. Jump to get yourself out of this little dreamy state when you're sitting against this log, just because again it achieves maximum movement speed. Now we're going to go to the village, and this is where I like to use, this is where my L1 button as start comes into play, because I'm going to hit that to skip text, and then immediately hit jump and hold left. And that gets me out of the village as quickly as possible. So in King Knight's level, this first room has a local cycle with the lava pots that come up later, so you just have to